Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Emma, and we are playing the Dragon Age equivalent of Dungeons & Dragons, a tabletop role-playing game.
Here's a quick look at what we're using to play the game. A character sheet, 3d6, and the player's manual, with the DM guide included.
So, we're one episode in, but we're just kind of going to start this off in medias res. Critical Role does it, so we can do it, because they're amazing. Alright, so we have our cast of characters here in clockwise order that you see us on the screen right now. I am playing a city elf named Athene. Merlin is DMing. Travis is playing a Ferelden named Tomasa. And then Mercedes is playing a Dalish elf named Ashara. And Tina is playing a human apostate named Shalani. I'm going to give us a quick TLDR of our first campaign session. So, we were chilling out in a tavern. We were approached by a dwarf named Kenedrin, and he was going to proposition us to smuggle some lyrium for him. He was going to award us 10 gold a person, and said that he could afford that fee because he'd made some adjustments. He'd rearranged his business structure for this venture. So, we're at the tavern. We interact with some of the locals there, with the Dalish fiddle player. We get woken up at 2 o'clock in the morning to the sounds of violence in the alleyway outside of our rooms next to us. And checking out the window, we see our dwarf friend, Kenedrin, under attack by several humans. We head downstairs to help him out. Their leader's name is Lindred, and they're associated with a gang called the 𝒸𝒾𝒶 Boys, and apparently the dwarf has wronged them, and so they're trying to take him in. We managed to stop that, even though they were joined by 4 additional people who tried to cart Kenedrin off. We managed to dispense with most of them. We took one as our temporary prisoner, questioned him, tried to figure out what was going on, and ended up having him escort us to his gang's headquarters to try to mediate this dispute somehow. Apparently, in that business restructure, they had cut this gang out of being the middlemen for this lyrium smuggling operation, so they were understandably upset. So we get there, we're trying to ask to talk to Lindred. Instead, we eventually get to speak to Shishela, who is their elven leader, and she's actually little kitten foot. She's actually keeping the community and the underprivileged afloat, taking in refugees, taking in the needy, feeding them, housing them through the money that they make from this lyrium venture. And so they're really hurting right now, and so much so that they've taken in an ex-Templar who's suffering from lyrium addiction, and he's having a bad time. He's really suffering through withdrawals, and he comes up and he's sort of frenzied. And we realize quickly that we need to get this settled. They don't have any lyrium on them. Kenedrin says that we can go back to where they're stationed outside the city, where their cart is tied up at the moment, and we can get some lyrium to tide them over. So, we head out that way. But when we get there, the caravan is ransacked. Kenedrin's brother is dead, unfortunately. All the lyrium is gone. It was in a secret cubby inside the wagon underneath the floorboards. So somebody clearly knew that this is a very common hiding spot, or they had some insight into the venture. Either way, we don't really have any lyrium to give to the poor Templar, but Kenedrin comes clean, says he's had a vial of emergency lyrium in his coat pocket the entire time. So we make him go back to the 𝒸𝒾𝒶 Boys, hand over the vial, and then we get underway and start off towards Royeaux. In Royeaux, we split up to try to pursue some leads. So the humans go together and the elves go together. The elves are trying to find info on Blaine, who is a leader of Indigo Road, which is a lyrium trade branch of the Carta. So humans on their end go get prettied up, and try to infiltrate some noblish circles while we go and ply our liaisons within Briala's network to try to figure out what we can. So the elves go and find a contact named Mavera, and she gives us information on a group calling themselves the Blue Owls. They're a distribution network, so she can get more info to us, but she needs a favor in return. There is an Orlesian noble who makes her trade and family prestige off of stealing Dalish relics and artifacts from Dalish communities and peoples. And so she wants us to relieve them of that property. And so we agree to do so. And the humans, while they're out, figure out that there is a Sweet Song brandy parlor where Blaine hangs out, and he's been recently seen there with an ex-Templar. So our plan of attack is to go ahead and assault the manor of the noble. Her name is Sophia de Saumont, and we're gonna go get us some stolen artifacts, and we're gonna return them to their rightful owners, and hopefully free some Dalish slaves in the process. All right, guys. Hopefully y'all are excited as I am, because this is my jam. Dalish power. All right, Marlon, take it away.
Y'all had been talking about how to go about that, how to set up your heist. I know that y'all had ideas such as being able to hide a carriage nearby or ride it up there, and different ways to get in, get the get the goods and get out quickly. But y'all had not come up with an official plan that I am aware of.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think what we settled on last was that the humans would go in and engage from a more public perspective, like go in and be like, oh, so-and-so is my second cousin twice removed and has just said wonderful things about whatever. Just some means by which to schmooze a little bit, keep them distracted and downstairs. And then the elves were going to go up and be sneaky and get up into the gallery. Because if I'm not mistaken, we did run across some Dalish in the market who talked to us and gave us means by which to enter.
Correct.
Perfect.
Now, that original plan had kind of been pivotal around the fact that you had an Orlesian noble within your party.
Right.
However, today, Ophelia has been called away to other things, other noble duties, now that her family has found out that she is in town. So she is going to be unable to assist in that way, which means that we may have to come up with a different plan. So, one of the things that you want to find out is, where are the goods?
We do know that at least.
So the next question is, when do you want to do the heist?
Is there a time where they're either mostly away or otherwise engaged to where
That is
attention will be focused elsewhere?
a fantastic thing to find out, wouldn't it?
So maybe we need to ask around and see if there's a ball that they're attending or some sort of soiree or gala, something.
Try to get an idea of what is their schedule. Because why break into a house with people there if you don't have to?
Question.
Answer.
Do red jennies exist?
Ooh.
Yes, I don't see why not.
Well, can we find one? Because they would know everything about the nobles and what they're doing, and...
That's such a good idea.
Would any of y'all have any contacts within the Red Jennies? Or any way that you think that you might know people that are in that realm? Otherwise, that's going to be a little bit more difficult.
I'm Dalish, so it's unlikely for me.
Maybe if there's some sort of intersectionality between Briala's agents and Red Jenny? Not that they're the same organization, but we might have somebody who's present in Well, I guess the problem with red Jennies is that they're oftentimes like very little people, right? I feel like Briala is
Right.
her aim is a little loftier than that, and so she's going to employ people who quite aren't. So, what is the politest fucking way to say that? Aren't so peasant class.
So, seeing as that it is kind of a secret society, I'm not sure that any of y'all are going to have contacts into something like that.
That would have been so fun to bring in.
Now, if y'all want to go and commit a bunch of crimes until they notice you,
I mean, it's an option.
it is.
You just got to realize the more crimes we commit, the higher probability we will have of getting caught.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So you know that you need to find a schedule to determine what time, day or night, do you do the heist. Do you know how to get there?
Yes. We talked to one of the servants, and he gave us everything we needed. What window to go in.
So you have a singular point of entry and exit that you're aware of.
Yes.
Currently.
Currently.
He's gonna throw another twist.
I mean, there's also the front door, if anything, but that would probably be, last resort kind of thing.
We could.
How much goods as well?
Guess we didn't ask that one.
Yeah, see, that is it, too.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was thinking, with my driving abilities, it's easy access. We could bring the wagon.
We could bring the wagon.
Maybe we could pretend to be delivering something?
You could.
If she's a fan of Dalish shit, we could have a fake painting of the Golden Hollow.
And I actually am Dalish.
Exactly.
So maybe my clan is giving it to them.
Nice touch.
Make a ceremony out of it, or even be if you want more time to haggle and stuff, be well, I heard that you have a wonderful collection, and if you would like to add, I have this really rare piece, but then you have to negotiate the price and do all the booty kissing that leads up to those sorts of luxury item deals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that out of
And I'm wondering too, though, thinking about it though, would they even give the time of day to a Dalish elf, or would they just try and kill me and take what I have?
We'd have to have a human with you.
Which we have two of.
Fair point.
We have a big human and we have a blasty human.
Wait, we have a big human, a warrior human.
Yeah.
Could it be he could pretend that he captured me, maybe?
Ooh, we could do that. Would it be, we should do disguises at least a little bit too, I'm thinking. Because I don't, if we have to be in Royeaux for further investigation stuff, I don't want them to be that's that lady that was in my house! So we should...
See, for me it's difficult because I have the Valasleen, right?
Right.
So, typically, this is just kind of out of game as a DM. Heists typically break down into the following categories, and just this is to help y'all kind of put together things that y'all might want to consider, is being able to gather information, right? What are the blueprints? What is the schedule that they're following? When are you going to do the heist? What is going to be the safest? To add on to that, what kind of defenses does the manor have? Are there guards? Is there magic? Are there other servants that might be around when you're there that might not be as helpful? Part of that breaks into then what is typically called on-site surveillance. In any good heist movie, they go and they check out the joint. They don't just case it outside, but they buy tickets. They go in, they look around, they get an idea of what it's like to actually be in there under different pretenses, whether that's pretending to sell Dalish goods, to see what it's actually like in there without actually pulling the heist.
We could pretend to be servants for an undisclosed amount of time. That would give us the ultra in and out. Because we know that they like to employ elves for that, sick subjugation kink. But we got elves.
And they employ more than elves. as well.
Oh,
you
they
would
do?
you would also be aware of that, yeah. So it would be
I think the
fairly
servant plan
reasonable.
isn't bad.
So you've got the on-site surveillance, getting in there and just seeing what's there. How can you get about? What do you need to know on the inside? And then the prep work. How do you take all of that information and put together an actual plan? Can you guarantee that the blueprints that you've got are factual, that the defensive measures are factual? Is there anything that you weren't able to gather outside of being inside the manor that might change how you want to approach things? And then would come the actual operation,
Okay.
the real heist, however y'all want to go about that. Now, those are just kind of guidelines, things to consider when you're doing a heist, doing a big crime like this.
So do you want to start with doing the being employed as servants, and then like all of us? I don't think we need to have any particular sort of skill. We would just do all the things: the gardening, the cooking, the cleaning. So let's just cross our fingers, and we should. We met their servants in the market. Can we hang out at around the same time the next day and try to see if they come back?
Sure, you can do that.
And that way we can ask them and be like, hey, is your household hiring? Because they would know. Because we can't just walk up and be like, hi, hello. Do you please hire me?
Yeah.
Does that sound reasonable to everybody?
Yeah.
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 All right, so let's see if they show up the next day. So it takes you a while. You've been sitting around the markets, people are passing you by. Are y'all just kind of standing about awkwardly in the same place, stiff as boards? Or y'all trying to blend in? I mean, you're probably going to be about for, quite a few hours, and if you're standing in the same spot, it's going to look mighty sus.
So I'm sure we're not being dumb. We're taking passes through. We're
Pretending to shop, maybe.
and probably doing it in pairs and then changing up those pairs so it's not the four of us as a clump like all the time. And that makes
Yeah.
us less noticeable.
All right, then if I can get everybody to roll me a cunning ability test, you can use your focus in anything you think would be helpful.
Okay, and how do I do that again? Sorry.
On cunning, so
Yeah.
we roll the 3d6 and then you
Okay.
add your little number. So the one in the parentheses
Okay.
beside the big number.
The tiny number, yeah.
Yeah, our modifier.
What?
Oh.
Something occurred to me just now too when y'all said boards. What are the odds of this particular manor maybe having like a job or a bounty posted on one of the bounty boards?
Ooh, that would be good. We need to pursue that too.
You could absolutely check that as well.
That could be something, especially if it's a bounty, something that I could handle and get in good with them.
Yeah, because we can even have some of us working there and like do that while half of us maybe even, or just one of us pursue the bounty. And so the bounty turn in, if it's at the house, can even serve as that distraction while the rest of us like grab shit really quickly and then put it in the carriage.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a plan.
Because maybe
I mean-
if it's a bounty, maybe I could set it up to where something happens, and as I'm taking care of the bounty again, basically, it sets up enough of a distraction where you guys can go in the back.
Sounds like a plan.
Are we all rolling?
Yep, if everybody
Yeah.
can give me a roll, that is going to be 3d6 plus your ability bonus in cunning.
Okay, mine would be 13 plus the 1 is 14. Do doubles count?
Doubles do count in an RP setting for this, yes.
I had double sixes.
Oh, nice.
All right, which one was your dragon die?
The dragon die was the 1.
Perfect, so you've got 1 point to spend on an RP Let's see, for skill checks, that gave you the opportunity to... Where was that? Playing game... Stunt points.
I love that Dragon Age has this, like, somewhat unique aspect of the Dragon Die and having these stunt points where you get to, like, do something kind of cool. It definitely, like, lets you add a little flair. And it's, like, prescribed flair, right? You get to choose from the list.
Right.
That's kind of nice because then otherwise you kind of sit there paralyzed with options, wondering what you want to do.
Thinking forever.
Yeah. God, that's hard sometimes. Because there's just so many things that you can choose from. It's like trying to figure out what to have for dinner.
Yep.
So this is really only intended for chat dialogue stunt points where you say a witty remark at the end of your action and everybody that hears it is just affected more deeply. So I think a stunt point for this is going to be everybody else on the team can get a +2 to their roll because Tomasa is doing such a good job at looking like he belongs there. He's able to help everybody just kind of like act natural.
Technically, he's the only one that does kind of belong there. If you think about it.
And so
You're
anytime
welcome.
any of y'all start like standing in a spot too long, he'll like walk over and make sure that you're moved off to another section so that you don't look like a suspect.
Don't be suspicious.
Don't-
Don't be suspicious. Alright. What do we have for rolls?
Well, with that +2, I'm at 15.
Nice.
Tina, what was that give you?
13.
Perfect.
Alright. And I had a 16.
All right. So, with that, you do end up spending about half the next morning, 3 or 4 hours, just kind of loitering about. But you do it in such a way that it looks like you were intended to be there on whatever house business or other visitor business, tourist business you were intended for. And nobody even bats an eye at the fact that you have been around longer than anybody else throughout the morning. But around that time, around 11 o'clock, you do see the same group of servants that you had met with previously.
Yeah, elf time. Alright, Mercedes, you ready?
Yep.
You want to do the talking? You want me to do it?
You start, because you're the city elf. I feel like they'll trust you a little more than they trust me.
That's fair. Well, are they Dalish, though? I know some Dalish work there.
These are city elves.
Okay. So, with Ashara alongside her, Athene is going to head over, give them a very casual greetings. Maybe they'll put the two and two together, remember their lovely little faces. I think when we talked to them the first time, we didn't... Did we tell them what we were going to do? We're like, hey, we're going to go rob your house and, return all those elven artifacts. I'm pretty sure we did.
I remember that
Yeah.
when you talked to them, you were able to figure out that, and correct me, Mercedes, if I'm wrong, that they were kind of down for them to get taken advantage of because they're so crappy to the rest of them.
Yeah.
Right.
So, Athena and Ashara are going to go over, say hello, and politely inquire into whether or not there might be room in the household for a few extra helping hands. They're trying to figure out a way into the house itself.
They recognize you, and as you approach, you definitely can tell that they're a little shy.
Do we need to make communication rolls?
I am going to have to go with give a communication roll because they're definitely feeling a little odd that 2 days in a row you have just kind of found them.
Yeah, I didn't think
So-
about that one.
That's going to be...
We're just extra friendly. Alright.
And that's 3d6 again, right?
Correct. And then if you have a communication-based focus for persuasion, lying, etiquette.
Nice.
Oh, I got doubles.
Oh.
Hey.
What's your dragon die number?
2.
2. All right.
One, so my total is 11 for
Me too.
the communication roll.
To communication.
So with your stunts, you can either make a witty remark that kind of causes them to feel more affected by what y'all are doing, to kind of get them more on your side. Yeah, you could also you've got 2 other options. You can weave a second thread of conversation into this one. You can kind of add something else that they're going to be positive towards, if you have anything else that you're after. Or if you want, this one probably isn't going to be useful, but you could sway more people if you were attempting to sway a crowd. So I think those first 2 options are going to be best.
I think we'll go with the first one. I want to put them at ease.
Perfect. Then how would you like to go about doing that, or do you just want to say that it happens? Either way is totally fine.
I don't know exactly what the wording would be, but I just want to, I guess, somehow impress upon them that we're not trying to get them into any sort of trouble, or, you know, we just need some information.
All right, perfect. So you're able to weave your explanation into your Dalish background. They start feeling for you more than they did the day prior, and they relax and they open up, and they let you know that the house is almost always hiring, and that you would need to talk to Alia, who is the head of the servants in general. I don't know what the term would be.
A stewardess or a steward, usually like the head of the household, and I think a lot of the times that also puts them at a point of leadership over the remainder of the staff, if I'm not mistaken.
Perfect, that works for me. Show up at the servants' quarters door and ask for Alia. And that she is typically more than happy to hire on anybody that is willing to work hard. They let you know that she genuinely tries to take care of the servants, even though she is human herself.
Oh.
But that she does right by the servants.
What a refreshing change of pace. All right. We should probably ask. Oh, do we ask them if they know about bounty things, or is there like a board in the city where we can go and check that ourselves? And I don't need to worry about that right now.
Yeah, so there would be a bounty board posted up. It's a little bit further out, but not far. Not so far that you couldn't just easily walk to it. It's just not in the exact section that you're at. But quickly, you check the board. You do find a posting looking for servants for this house.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
perfect.
It's not a bounty at all.
It is not a bounty, but it's also a job board.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We just kind of, as video gamers, colloquially call them bounty boards.
That's fair. That's fair. Or mission board.
But yeah, realistically, bounties wouldn't be as common as just a job board that one of those jobs would be a bounty.
Awesome. Mercedes, do we want to ask our friends anything else before we let them go?
No, I think that's good, because we've got to figure out this Alia person now.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like she might be able to be swayed to our side too, but I'm not sure yet.
Yeah. I'm excited. All right. So, unless our human companions want to ask them anything,
Don't think so.
you should.
I don't think so.
Perfect. We'll head on over. We'll tell them that we very much appreciate what they're doing. Oh shit, Mercedes, we had thought that we might want them to like flee with us, right? Because we were talking about like giving some of the the Dalish ones in particular an avenue out of that indentured servitude. So these guys aren't Dalish, though. Do you want to do that? You want to ask about that bit?
I'm trying to think of how the right way to do it would be. Like, would we... No, you know what? I think we should do that maybe a little bit further on once we're in there and we have a bit of a plan. Then we tell people, like, hey, if you want out, follow us.
Absolutely, and then we've gained their trust at that point, too. Good idea.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Real quick, if I could get Shalinar, Tina, can you roll me, as you're talking to these servants, can you roll me a magic... Yeah, go ahead and roll 3d6 and add your magic bonus score.
Okay.
So the one in the parentheses.
And I'm adding my magic. What exactly?
So your magic bonus, so that'll be the plus next to whatever your magic stat is.
I would have 17.
Nice.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, oh, and you got doubles. So, in this game, one of the unique mechanics is called Dragon Die. Thank you. When we're doing it on the bot, we always take the third die is the Dragon Die number. And so, you were able to get doubles, which activates the Dragon Die. What that does is, as Emma had mentioned earlier, they have a unique system called stunt points, which allows you to do unique and interesting things that you wouldn't normally be able to do. And so, as you're standing there listening to them talk to these servants, you get this weird pulsing feeling coming off of them. And you can tell that it's kind of your innate ability to feel magic. And each of them, there's 3 servants here. Each of them seems to have a singular part of their body that is just kind of like radiating out, just very mildly magic. And you can just kind of sense it, and you think it's coming from this identical band that they're each wearing.
Interesting.
I think this is going to be problematic.
I agree.
I have
With
a feeling they're going to cut us off.
With your stunt points, you are able to stay completely impassive on your face, giving away nothing.
Okay, good.
Nobody is able to tell that you sense something that just rubs you the wrong way, probably. There is some sort of weird magic that people don't just walk around with, especially servants of a noble house. And so, as none of the others know this, they continue on their conversations until the servants move off on their merry way, and the group of you get back together.
Hi, hello. Athene explains that they need to go speak to a human stewardess of that house. His name's Alia, and that she's going to be able to hook us up, so to speak, with some sweet employment. And we could probably go do that now if we want.
Just want to note, I don't think it's going to be sweet employment.
Yeah, I agree. I'm worried it's gonna be a little more.
That band thing is concerning.
Yeah, a little bit more than employment. I am worried.
Indentured servitude.
Yeah, the elves sweat in Elvish. All right. Does this sound like a good idea? Does anybody want to peruse the market at all? We've got some money.
Oh, yeah, we do, don't we?
Yeah, and shopping is a thing. in these universes. And we're in Royeaux. I'm sure we could find some really cool stuff.
There are all sorts of fine colognes, spices, silks, different types of clothing.
Yeah. Wait. We were talking about disguises. Orlesian is
Right.
a city of masks. We could just get masks.
Oh.
Is that reasonable? Does that sound like a good idea?
Are elves allowed to? Yeah, we're allowed to wear masks.
Yeah,
because we
Brianna
would,
has one.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a partial mask, it's still very helpful to contain our identities. And we'll have to get you a full one, Mercedes.
Yeah.
That'll be good, though.
And I mean, I should probably get out of like the traveler's garb because I assume it's Dalish style as well.
You're right. Yeah, we should get Tomasa some. No, you got some new clothes from Ophelia's mom.
That's
Okay,
what I was just thinking. Do I still have those clothes?
I think so. Unless Merlin says otherwise.
Mm-mm. No,
you
you've
go.
still got Ophelia's clothes without any issues.
Perfect. Tina, are you wearing like? Well, I mean, like, do we just need to get? We don't want to get too fancy things. We're trying to be housekeepers.
If she's an apostate, is she wearing a robe maybe?
Oh, do we want to not wear robes? Is that like sus?
Maybe.
Well, I'm kind of wondering what we're supposed to do with our staves, to be honest.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You can tie some straw to the end of this. This is my broom.
It's
I'm
a bow.
sleepy.
It's an old Dalish trick. You wouldn't understand.
I mean, is there magic to like shrink it? Can you like stow it away? I know this isn't D&D,
Shrink
but
it and put it in
that's
your
all
pocket.
I got, right?
No.
This is my pocket staff. Of course.
So
Oh my god, that would be so cool.
What does it look like? What does it look like? 'Cause could it be used as like a walking stick?
it could, and that is most likely the only way to get around carrying it around is, in fact, to use it as a walking stick. Now, one of the things that you can do is, once you have decided what you want to do, you don't take the staff around with you until it's time for the heist, and then you stash it somewhere in the house. And part of the plan's to get to it so that you've got your magics.
That's fair. Because we still have magic without the staff. It's you just need the staff to channel
Yeah,
the
to
lands.
channel it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
so,
that sounds like a good plan, actually.
all right.
Shopping time.
So shopping time. Everybody goes about, and you are purchasing clothes for your disguise,
And
which
masks.
and masks.
Or can we say this is what we were doing the whole time, so we weren't being
Sure.
super sus?
I think that is that is a great idea. Is whether or not that was the original plan, you had spent your time spending some of your hard-earned coin on some new outfits that just happened to work out.
Yeah. Or we were probably like, if we knew we wanted to be servants, we probably already were thinking and figuring this out. So, all right, what are our options?
What are your options? So, the majority of the places around here are definitely not going to sell servants' clothing. They're mostly going to be selling things that are more high fashion for the city. As you would know that you would need to move deeper into kind of the alleyways farther out from the main thoroughfare to get to where the servants would be buying their clothes.
Okay.
But that doesn't take you long to get to a small shop that is selling just very basic things that servants would wear. Very utilitarian, easy to clean, durable material. Yet still, it's Royeaux. Like, it is still fashionable compared to most other cities. So you can easily, each of you, get unique outfits, matching outfits if you want to be a thief team with your black turtlenecks.
Oh my god.
Um,
A thief team.
but yeah, without any issues, and you don't have to worry about tracking gold or money for this. I'm just going to kind of say y'all have been adventuring for 6 months. You've got enough stashed away for just
Perfect.
easily purchasing servants' clothing, which probably isn't that expensive to begin with.
But masks. We need
Yeah.
masks.
Yes. Do servants normally wear masks? Again, I'm going to need help with some of the Dragon
I
Age lore.
believe they do, but it's usually based on which house they serve.
Exactly.
Perfect. Then that may be a little bit more difficult. But that may be something that is given to you once you gain employment.
Can we have purchased them ahead of time in those house colors? 'Cause
The
whole point-
masks?
yeah, the whole point of the mask was to keep them from recognizing our faces at a later date.
Sure. I am sure that there are custom mask makers that are willing to quickly dye or paint.
Yeah, we can bedazzle it. So you get like your base mask, and they're like, oh, well, our colors are red and gold. And we're like, hot damn.
Sequin everywhere.
Ideas?
All right. So you buy and bedazzle a number of masks for your group to wear. Being quite assumptive in the fact that you are going to get hired by a house that you've already bought masks in the color of.
No, you buy the base mask and then say,
Oh.
all right, we'll get it taken care of. And then
Okay.
when you get hired, you add the livery on.
Okay, all right, I'm with you. Some big brain stuff. I'm just a little brain DM.
That's why they pay me the big bucks.
So you spend probably another hour or two shopping about, getting the right clothes, finding masks that you like. Because it is still crowded. It's, even though you're not in the main thoroughfare, people from out of town that don't have the kind of money to throw around at high fashion, cutting edge fashion are probably closer down here. You know that this is also closer to where your tavern is that you're staying, which was the 𝒸𝒾𝒶 Inn.
Oh, I love it.
It's better than the last one you were in. The Velvet Slime, I think is what it
Oh
was.
my god, is that what we
Yes.
decided on?
Yeah.
Such a cute name.
Well, names can be deceiving.
Okay, 𝒸𝒾𝒶 Inn. I have it memorialized.
Alright, so I'm going to say that you all meet back up at the tavern, the 𝒸𝒾𝒶 Inn, to rest, get some food, which is covered in your room bill, so that you're not having to spend extra money.
Ooh, nice.
And y'all can talk about what is next up.
What are we having?
I guess we've
What?
got to figure out how we're going to approach Alia, right?
Mm-hmm. Do we want to approach as a group? Do we want to go individually? Do we want to go in pairs? How do you want to do this?
Hmm.
What sounds best?
Ha-
Hmm.
How? I mean, I know she's kind of partial to her elven servants, but how suspicious will she be of stranger elves just walking up to her? Would you want to have the humans approach first?
So you know from your conversation with the servants that it's fairly common for people to come up looking for work at the servants' quarters and talking to what did we determine that was going to be, the stewardess?
Yeah.
Yeah, for that kind of thing. So
Okay.
because you know that she is fairly accepting as a stewardess, probably not as big a deal this time.
Yeah.
But normally,
Okay.
yes, having the humans go first would probably be beneficial. Having the humans with you is absolutely beneficial. It
Then,
kind
yeah,
of vouches for the fact that y'all aren't just like street scum elves trying to sneak in here and steal all their stuff.
Wow. That's racist.
Yeah.
Welcome to Royeaux.
Well, then I say we go as a group.
All right.
Yeah.
The only concern I have with going as a group is, do we want them to know that we're a group?
Maybe go in pairs, one elf, one human.
That makes sense, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you pair up, and you go to meet Alia.
After we've had our lunch at our tavern.
Wait, who pairs
Absolutely.
with who, though? That's a good question, too.
Who wants to pair with who?
I don't mind.
I'll
Let's-
go with the big guy.
All right, done. So
Sound good to me. I'm laughing because I'll go with the big guy.
Listen,
That works.
I need some protection, okay?
I got no
Just
problem
a-
being protection. I just like the name.
a small elf in a big city.
Exactly. I'm very out of my element here.
Yeah.
All right. So, 2 by 2, you go to Alia and you break it up in a long enough time frame that there's no like weird suspicion. You're also not the only ones that are showing up today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, if you
We have
recall,
competition.
there was a job board posting.
That's right. Okay, so it makes perfect sense for a bunch of people to be coming up at this point.
And you would also know that houses, it's a fairly large, fairly well-to-do house. They probably have anywhere from 5 to 20 servants at any time, depending on how they're trying to keep their numbers. And sometimes you'll hire on extras if you're happening to have a big event, and then let others go when you're not. And just kind of keeping a core about. And what I would like for everybody is let's do.
Bef-
Go ahead.
Before we roll,
Mhm.
what do they have as far as animals go?
Oh, that is a great question.
You're going to be
Because-
an animal wrangler, eh?
Part of my communication, I've got +2 to animal handling.
They probably definitely have horses.
Oh, they
Yeah.
they definitely do. I'm trying to see.
And then with my size, that would also be a
All
be a
right.
good.
So not only do they have horses, but they also have a number of large dogs, hunting
Ferelden?
hounds.
Mabaris?
I don't know how
Mabaris
common.
typically stay in. Are they more of a Ferelden thing, though, right?
I think so.
I just they don't really talk about any other dog breeds in the game,
Well,
really.
I only say that because the Orlesians really have a fun time making fun of the Fereldans for their Mabaris.
Okay.
Doesn't mean they
these-
don't have any.
So
but-
these are going to be like rich people hunting dogs. Super perfect bred, beautiful coats, well trained for show.
So like the ones, remember in the DLC for Origins with Talus, where you have to go and participate in that hunting ground stuff. Those dogs.
Yes. And so they have got 14 of them.
That's a lot.
Wow.
This is how they go and steal all their Dalish stuff. They have to have a big hunting party to scare all the Dalish away and then go take all their nice things.
Or just eat us.
So rude of them. I feel that. All right.
All right. So
That's
yeah,
crazy.
you know that they've got horses and they've got a large group of dogs. So either one of those is going to be beneficial for your animal handling skill set. So
Okay.
as you'll approach 2 by 2, give me, let's go first group. That's going to be Tomasa and Ashara.
Yes.
The two of you give me, you can either do communication roll to try and convince them to convince her to hire you on, or a cunning roll to lie and be deceitful about it, but still trying to get the position. Both will have different outcomes through success or failure.
I would prefer to do cunning,
Okay?
and that's 3d6 as well, right?
Correct. And if you have a focus in anything that is related to, let's go with, if you have cultural lore or historical lore, you would be able to use those, especially being Dalish,
No,
to
I
your
just have a lot
advantage.
of languages.
Okay, no worries. Then go ahead and give me a cunning roll for you.
Okay, so that's, oh, whoa, that's not great. That's gonna be a total of 11 for me.
Okay, so total of 11. You don't really have any issue. Well, let's go ahead and give 𝒂𝒾𝒶. Give me a roll as well. You can use communication or cunning.
I'm going to use the communication with the animal handling.
Perfect. That sounds fantastic.
And my total's also 11.
All right. So neither of you run into any snags. She is quite willing to bring in 𝒂𝒾𝒶 due to his size and skill in animal handling to help wrangle 14 hunting dogs and make sure that they stay in tip-top condition and skill. And the Dalish elf coming in with cunning, you're able to explain to her that using your knowledge of your history and the history of elves and everything, it kind of lines up very much with what the house likes to have on staff.
Okay.
It's kind of a status symbol for this noblewoman in particular to not only have Dalish artifacts, but have you seen my Dalish elf? Because slavery is illegal,
Right.
but servitude is not. So you are going to be a trophy servant.
Yay.
Ugh.
I feel a little gross.
Yeah.
She hands both of you bracelets and lets you know that these are required to be on at all times.
Is she wearing one? I know
Okay.
She
I'm not
is
there.
wearing one,
I'm not there, so I can't ask.
but you do see that she is wearing one herself. And through this whole ordeal, she has been very warm and welcoming. She has offered you tea. She has just kind of chatted to get to know the two of you, however much you're willing to let that be. But she is wearing a bracelet as well and hands each of you bracelets. Do you put it on and accept the job?
Oh, man.
Is there a detect magic equivalent in this system?
I am not entirely sure.
They have a magic thing. Can they maybe roll for that, like an Arcana roll, to figure out what type of magic this is at least?
Let's find out.
Sorry, trying to help you guys out.
Yeah, no, because I'm assuming that, sorry, looking at my notes, Shalinar has told us that, she sensed magic off of these things.
Has she told us? Because I've never heard that actually mentioned.
Oh, that's fair.
Other than just
Oh, wait.
because you
have
said
told
that
them?
you just said that we just walked along ahead, not knowing was the last thing that I heard.
But
Shalinar, would you have informed the group about what you had felt?
I think so.
Okay. So then we can assume that while y'all were at the tavern, that was one of the things that was discussed.
Okay.
Or lunch.
Well, the magic wouldn't really affect me. It would just affect.
Well, it might be some sort of tracking device.
See, and what I'm worried about is, are we able to take them off again?
Do you ask?
Ask her, yeah.
I think I want to ask her, yeah. Like, what is it? Why do we need this kind of thing?
Let's see if she is willing to talk about.
Why would she not be willing to talk about
Roll
it?
me a communication roll to persuade her into talking about this.
Is that both of us or just her?
Either one of you or both if you both want to try. Let's go with both, just
Yeah.
Okay.
because y'all are there as a team.
So you can like give each
So
other
it'd
an
be-
advantage.
Yeah.
So it'd be
So
3
I've
dice,
got
6,
9.
Yep.
and
3d6.
one of them's got to be the dragon die.
The last
Correct.
one. Mhm.
Whichever one you want it to be.
I thought thought we said that it was always.
He's
11.
rolling the physical dice.
Oh, then it
Mhm.
should
Yeah.
be the colored one.
Yeah.
The one that's a different color.
Well, I'm using the different color and the smaller one because they're both one and the same. So
Yeah.
this roll was not very good. It was a total. If we add the 1, it was a total of 10.
Okay.
Oh, mine's even worse. I'm a 9.
Oh no.
So, what she tells you is she is just this very sweet. And one of the things that I should also point out is she is much older. She is an older human woman,
Oh.
Like grandma age?
like grandma age.
Ooh.
And she says just very sweetly, "I don't recommend that you try to take them off. The lady gets quite upset." And she lets you know that what your roles will be within the house and who to report to, which will be right after this. You'll just kind of have we'll just kind of do a fade to black session as you go and learn your role as a servant of the house, and then we'll kind of talk about what y'all learned throughout that. So, next to...
Oh wait, but did y'all put them on?
Oh, that is still the question.
I'm gonna go ahead and assume that we do, and then we're just gonna worry about how to get them off later.
Sounds like a plan.
Because we need in, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'll take the job.
All right. Then you all move off. The two of you
Tag team.
are taken to different parts of the manor and taught your respective roles. So, Tomasa, you are going to be the one in charge, not in charge of, but working with the person in charge of the dogs to help feed, groom, train, specifically, these animals, due to your skill set in animal handling. And Ashara, due to your unique heritage, you are going to be working for the person in charge of maintaining the Dalish artifacts of the house,
Oh.
cleaning them,
Ooh.
ensuring that they are facing the right direction, as well as maybe even doing some write-ups about what it actually is, for some little plaques on the outside of each of the cases, like a museum.
That's a rather useful role.
But
I've got a question.
sorry, keep going.
These dogs, are they actually guard dogs?
So they're hunting dogs. They're not trained to guard, but they're trained to hunt and follow orders. So
Ooh.
they're
I
not
could
going
use
to
that to our advantage.
You could, in fact.
That's what I was asking. That's why I was asking.
Yep, they're great at following orders, but they're not going to be like walking around on patrol, like looking for bad guys. If they're not hunting, they're on vacation for all that they're worried about. So once you
Yeah.
give them orders, they like snap to it and they go hunt whatever.
But we got to realize that if they're hunting dogs, all they got to do is get a certain scent, and then they're on the trail.
So
You just gotta get them to really like you.
the two of you have infiltrated the manor.
Yeah.
Next
I'm
up,
Remember that.
we've got Ithene and Shalinar.